Welcome back to the channel, everybody. You know me, and we've got Hex Lion from KSB.TV. You've probably heard of him before. He's traveling all around the world, shilling PulseChain and Hex far and wide, from Austria, I believe. Of course, he's not actually
Yes,
German.
that's true. Thank you. Thank you for remembering that.
Yes. I finally got that right. They're not all the same, everybody. They're not all the same. So we've got A-Bit in the chat. What's going on? Case X0X Will, Hex Drummer, Red Squirrel, always here. Oi to you too, bro. And yeah, welcome everybody. We're gonna be talking about everything going on in the Hex world today. A lot of interesting stuff going on. We've got obviously ETHW, which maybe we should start with because that's what's on everyone's mind. That's what's on my mind. People are looking to extract value out of this new Ethereum fork called the ETH Proof of Work, and it's still brand new, still low liquidity, still, in my opinion, still experimental. But it's a lot of fun because if you're a Hex holder or staker already, you now have Hex on another blockchain. So, Patrick, what is your take on this whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, let's start with the history on that, like how we came to the ETH proof of work fork. So, like over the course of about 5 or 7 years, no, Ethereum, the traditional Ethereum. I don't want to say traditional because would it be the traditional Ethereum would be Ethereum Classic, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true. I just don't know anymore. See, there's been so many forks throughout history. It's like,
Yeah,
what is the real Ethereum?
and then like I would like to ask the question, why did they do this fork in the first place? And by asking this question, it's like, okay, to further enrich the miners, like the group of people who forked off, I don't
Yeah,
know,
well, I
are
think
they
that's
really
pretty
in it for
obvious.
the long run?
I think that's pretty obvious because imagine you're a miner and you spent all this money on equipment. You don't just want to throw the equipment in the garbage. Like, you want to keep making money out of it. That was why Ethereum Classic continued to be around for so long. And so, although it is a money grab for the miners, I kind of think that the miners also don't want to let it fail. They're not incentivized to just let it fail. So if there's any issues or any, replay attacks or any crazy things going on in ETH proof of work, I'm starting to think that the miners would not, they would just patch it up and fork it back to normal. As long as they get their money at the
Mhm.
end of the day, they have an incentive to keep the game going.
Yeah, I agree to that. And for everybody out there who wants to be like really super safe, first of all, we can rely on our Hexagon community and some of our Hexagon developers like Alex, who programmed Hedron and icosa, also took care that everybody can have a nice front end to use on those new forks. And my recommendation would be that you use only this known front end to like end stake, restake on different chains, and everything you want to play around with, like all your liquid coins, just send them to a new wallet with a new private key, and then you play from there. Because in order to play around, you need to make approvals on decentralized exchanges and so on. And I'm sure there will be some fake links and scams going around as well on the forks, so better safe than sorry. And in order to enhance your security, you can send your liquid funds to a new wallet with a new private key, because doing so, you don't need to connect your wallet with any new sites or make any approvals with like your main wallet, where your main hex stakes are on.
Yeah, that's pretty much the biggest risk right now. Is basically faulty or scammy smart contracts. That's it. I mean, replay attacks are one thing, but the miners, as history has shown, the miners in Ethereum Classic got replay attacked 3 times in 1 month. And because they don't want to ruin the game for themselves, that they would all stop making money if they just said, "Oh, we messed up and it's permanent now." Um, Basically, what I've come to realize over time is that all
Yeah, I mean,
networks are socially enforced.
my take on that is a little different. So, do you think that those miners will continue to upgrade their hardware, or is it just like the end game for them? So, like, okay, let's use it like for another 3 years, because until then the hardware is useful, and then we just don't we give less and less support for the chain. Then we see like delistings from the centralized exchanges who listed it right away, and then it will go like
Yeah.
0 point something percent of the value from the main chain.
Yeah, well, the thing about ETHW is that it's been so long since Ethereum Classic forked off. That was what is it? 6 years ago. Yeah, 6 years ago now. So you could say that ETHW has potentially first mover advantage, and I think the forks with first mover advantage tend to survive for a long time. We've seen that with BCH. We saw that with Ethereum Classic, but any subsequent forks tend to slowly die and get delisted over time. So you don't hear any exchange or anybody talking about Bitcoin Gold anymore, or Bitcoin Diamond, or
And I mean,
Bitcoin Private.
I guess I also have the reasoning for that. So the main difference when it comes like to this proof of work fork and the pulse chain fork, in my opinion, is the cross chain bridging opportunity. And the second thing is that pulse chain from the get go takes care where and how to concentrate the liquidity in a decentralized way. And those are, in my point of view, the main two differences. Because also right now you need to really do a lot of research in order that okay, where should you play around, because you I mean, okay, you can use Uniswap, yeah, but then a lot of people are using KaibaSwap. Then, like, if you use KaibaSwap, it's more like Uniswap version 2 pools. Uh, when you set up liquidity on version 3 Uniswap, so they don't get routed through that. So it's a little tricky all around, and PulseChain will just be cleaner and easier to manage, in my point of view. And the biggest point is the cross chain movement possibility in some coins, and I'm pretty sure that will be happening with stable coins, with wrapped ETH, and of course with Hex, Pulse, and Pulse X itself. Because I also think that we will have wrapped Pulse on the ETH chain and wrapped Pulse X on the ETH chain.
Yeah. It's going to go both ways. It's going to be a two-way street. I agree. PulseChain is going to be way better in terms of the apps that already will exist from day one. I mean, that's going to be better. But yeah, I mean, I think we're in agreement. For people that are apparently not hearing me right, I'm not saying that replay attacks are a bad thing. I'm saying that because socially enforced networks exist, because these are socially enforced networks, you can get 51% attacked, aka replay attacked, and have it not be an issue because the miners will just fix it because they're socially enforced networks. It doesn't actually matter. Like proof of work versus proof of stake doesn't matter as much as the fact that a whole bunch of people just agree on something. So all we really need for ETHW to work out is enough people to continue to give it attention, continue to give it energy, and continue to agree that this is a legitimate chain. If there's no more developers, or there's no more miners mining it, or there's no more people building on it, no more exchanges listing it, then it would start to die off, right? But right now, from what I'm seeing, is a lot of attention is focused on ETHW, so it does give me that confidence that, hey, maybe this will be here for a while. I mean, it just popped up 2 weeks ago, so we're just all assessing the situation. And what Patrick is saying, on the other hand, is it's not replay attacks, guys. It's not that's not the big issue here. It's mostly faulty smart contracts.
It's more the price issue, because like for what, yeah, like technically speaking, the smart contract risk, but that you can mitigate by sending your liquid funds to a new wallet with a new private key, and then you just play from there, and then you only play with your free money. So that's fine. I'm more concerned about, like, okay, as far as onboarding goes, do you really? I think telling people to buy the cheap hex on a fork is misleading capital.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. I mean, it's when it comes to onboarding new people, who do you know out there that's a no coiner right now? Like let's say you're onboarding a no coiner. Is it easier to get them into Hex on Ethereum or to explain Hex on ETHW? It's so much easier to explain Hex on Ethereum because you don't have to say, oh, well, now you have to add a new network and you have to go to this new DEX and you have to, make sure your allowances are good over there. You have to explain the whole dichotomy of two different paradigms of blockchains. So yeah, I agree when it comes to onboarding somebody new. Get them into Hex on Ethereum. That way they'll get their copies on PulseChain as well. And I'm not really sure of anybody that's like, imagine the friction you have to go through just to get on the ETHW chain. We're lucky enough that we have app.icosa.pro. So shout out to Alex for building that bridge. But as far as I know right now, it's only the Hexicans that have been here for a while, you know, the real crypto savvy people that are playing over on this ETHW chain. A lot of the new guys, they don't really, a lot of them probably don't even care to learn. And it's very confusing for a new person. So in the grand scheme of things, right, in the big picture, if we're trying to onboard the world, yes, I agree. PulseChain will eventually become, you know, the one-stop shop, the onboarding, the Hex ecosystem, everything. We're going to have stable coins over there. We're going to have fiat on-ramps, a really good DEX and everything. But for right now, this is a really fun side game because we could all be making a lot of money overnight by essentially doing nothing at all. So yeah, there's really nothing wrong with playing around as long as you're safe, not granting allowances to random smart contracts and switching your networks. And like Hexline is saying, to be extra safe, just transfer all of your ETHW coins into a separate wallet just in case anything crazy does happen.
Yeah, and then, you know, by doing that, you can nicely create two kinds of strategies as well. Just one side question: do you hear the background noise? Because like outside of my apartment, somebody is like constructing something,
Oh, I
but you
can't
don't
hear
hear it.
anything.
Okay,
No,
good.
your
Then
mic is
it
good.
just did. All right, good. Then it's just annoying for me. So then you can like play two different strategies. Like on your main wallet, okay, you do this, and on your forked wallet, you know, where you send all your liquid coins to, you can make other strategies. So and yeah, don't want to dox myself too much, but I did exactly that. So now we like yesterday ended the minting phase of the Maximus perpetuals, and I was preparing a good amount of liquid hex for the perpetuals. And for example, on the forked chain, I didn't mint the perpetuals, and I was there. I'm more focused or concentrated on providing liquidity and liquidity positions as a preparation for PulseChain.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I am not. My strategy is just to do nothing and wait. But if you're okay with the risk of impermanent loss, I mean, the Hex W ETH
With
pairing.
my free money, yes, I am, because
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know
yeah,
that's why how I can easily
yeah, yeah, yeah.
find it out a little bit better, you know, to understand the
Well, it's
liquidity
really
game
interesting
even
because
better
you're
by
basically saying
playing
let's let
around
the
with some races.
yeah you're saying let's let the market decide. And so if the market wants to dump all the Hex W for ETHW, hey, good for you. Now you have a huge bag of ETHW. Or if the market wants to buy up all the
Oh,
Hex W, then congratulations. Now you have more Hex W coins, less ETHW coins. So whatever the market decides is worth more. Well, actually, never mind. That you're
and
going to end up with
yeah.
less of you're going to end up with less of the more expensive coin either way, and more of the less expensive coin, right?
Yeah,
Isn't
right.
so
That's
that's not
true. Yeah,
necessarily a good
that's true.
thing. So I'm actually not sure about that strategy myself. Like it's great that you're doing that, but
I
either way,
mean, in certain so on the East main chain, the goal is a little bit to search for pairs which have the least impermanent loss versus each other. One example would be Hex Icosa.
mhm.
Another example would be Hex Base,
Yep,
like the base contract which started yesterday. Um, yeah, those two. Another example would be like USDC DAI.
yeah, yeah, that's true. So when it comes to liquidity providing, yeah, you want coins with less price differential in between them overall in the long
Mhm.
run, right? So you're shorting
Yeah.
volatility.
But on the other hand, something like Hexhedron could also be an interesting pool because it's a 1% pool. And as there is good trading going on, you can make, you know, if it's a month with a good volume month, like
Yeah,
those crazy movement months we had in Hedron, some people made over 10% a month on their volume they provided for
yeah. No,
liquidity.
Hex Hedron is a very interesting pair because the way Alex designed Hedron, he was expecting it to actually track the price of a B share one day. And so if B shares and Hex go up together, maybe they're cyclical. Maybe Hex has a good month and Hedron has a bad month. Then Hedron has a good month and then Hex has a bad month. But overall, as long as you're accumulating more of both of those tokens, I think that's a good move. When it comes to ETHW Hex, though, let's say Hex takes off, and here's why I think Hex on the ETHW chain is so cool: is that if it reaches price parity, that's a 30x from today's prices. So
Yeah,
if
and
that
I
actually,
think that can only happen if ETHW also makes moves towards the ETH price, and that's why I don't think it's the worst liquidity game there.
I see.
Because
I
you know,
mean,
if we say okay, the ETHW chain is here to stay and to survive, their goal is also to reach the parity price of Ethereum, obviously. And also, you know, during the whole first year of Hex, we were 90% coupled with the Ethereum price. So I don't see why, especially in the earlier stages, it could be a bad play. So because if you tell me like yes, that's a bad play because the people are only using ETHW to extract value from the chain, then we are back at the initial question, why should we even then care, you know, if they are just made a fork to further enrich themselves.
yeah. Well, my point of view is that the price of ETHW, the coin itself, doesn't actually matter that much. Like in terms of Hex W, let's say. So if people want to adopt Hex W, that's fine. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that the ETHW price goes up along with it. We can look to history and see that on Ethereum Classic, ETC did go up a lot. You know, it started at around $1 and it got as high as about $100 in the peak of the bull market. Now it's right back down to $27, but it didn't make the same kind of crazy price moves that Ethereum itself did. But that's not necessary, right? It's not necessary for ETHW to pump to the moon in order for Hex W to pump on the ETHW chain. It would be great. I mean, obviously, if one goes up,
But
and
I mean, you know, like ratio wise, I there is like less than 1% of value in the ETHW price compared to the ETH price, and there is also less than 1%, yeah, of value in the hex price, you know, on the different chains. So that's why I thought, okay, that might be not the worst play there for providing liquidity. And if you look like how the routing goes, it mostly routes through the ETHW pool.
yeah,
And I
well,
mean, it is the pool with the most liquidity right now. And you know,
right, and that's
ETH
because right,
Hex was also the pool with the biggest liquidity in the first year of Hex.
yeah, you want them to be tied to each other as long as the prices of both are trending upwards, right? But if ETH starts to crash, yeah, then you would want the pairing to be on a stable coin. The thing is, right now, everybody just got a free airdrop. So part of the reason that the main liquidity pair is ETH Hex is because there's no stable coins over there right now that are worth any money. Once a bridge comes in, then we can bridge over stable coins and or maybe maybe USDC issues a new stable coin on ETHW in the future. That'd be great. But until now, I think the main pairing is going to continue to be ETHW, HexW until a stable coin comes into play. But right now, I see a lot of bullishness in ETHW. There's a lot of optimism and positivity in those chat rooms. The founder is talking about, ETHW 100x, and so there's a lot of new attention around this coin, which is bringing new eyeballs into Hex too. So it's almost like a win-win right now. Will that continue forever? Probably not, but it's good. Things are kind of bullish right now in that little micro environment.
Yeah, my math was off. So like Hex is even worth 3% of the, or 3% of the Hex price on Ethereum. Like 0.2 of penny. It's like 30x a week. 30x should be
You
3%.
mean 3% of all the liquidity on Ethereum is tied to, or
No,
3%?
like the value of no, the value of Hex on the W chain
Oh yeah.
is like 3% of the value of the main chain. Am I right with three?
It's about 3. Because
I
again,
guess.
like if
Yeah.
if in order for Hex to reach price parity, that would be about a 30x, maybe 33x. So I'd say, yeah, between 3 and
Mhm.
4%. I mean, that leaves a lot
Mhm.
of room for upwards price potential as long as people keep buying it.
Yeah, and the same goes for ETHW, you know, like with $10 versus $1,300. There is also good or like the same potential in the price, you know. That's
Yeah,
why I don't see like a big issue in having the most liquidity on this chain in this pair.
for now, I agree with you. I would just say in the future, if ETHW starts to sell off and a
Yeah,
lot, because
if we get no, if we get stable coins, yes. So as soon
yeah,
as we get a safe stable coin, and I could move like ETHW to a stable coin, I will definitely reconsider the liquidity. You know.
yeah. I mean, it's just interesting. We have to see how a lot of these bigger players also adopt um, this new stuff. Like for example, on Kyber right here, the screen that I just pulled up, they have a warning sign on their
Mhm.
website saying on Ethereum proof of W, you can withdraw liquidity from pools and make swaps, but you can't add liquidity. So they're only going to make. They've stated right now that Kyber Swap will only support the Ethereum proof of stake chain in the long run. They say in the long run. Now they could always change their minds too, just like everybody could change their minds. I've heard some exchanges issue big support for ETHW, and then I've heard some exchanges like Coinbase say, we would like to responsibly dump our ETHW over a long period of time as there's more liquidity. Either way, I think in the short term that means that they want enough liquidity to come in so that they can continue to sell off all their free coins in a responsible way, whatever that means. So none of this is particularly bad in the short term. And in the long term, it's speculation whether or not it's going to survive. I think it will survive. I just think it might probably go the way of Ethereum Classic, where it's not gonna be like the main chain in the long run, but it will be an existing ecosystem to go play around on. So I
Yeah, but you know, right now we are at about 3% of the hex value on this chain. And if you take like the Ethereum Classic price, you say $27, the Ethereum price $1,300, that's like 2% of the value. And that it stays between 1 and maybe 10%. Yes, that's like the range what I see, because I don't see any more, because we also know those addresses, you know, who dump 20 million, 40 million, 80 million hex at once.
yeah,
And as soon as they see like enough liquidity on this other fork, they will not hesitate to do it on this other chain as well. And the other chain, in my point of view, will always have less liquidity than the Ethereum chain. And that's why I don't see any more value than the range between 1 and 10%. And you
hmm,
know, do you really want to risk all that for a possibility of a 3x?
hmm. You mean a 30x?
No, a 3x, because I don't see that hex on Ethereum W reaches more than 10% of the
Oh, okay.
value from the ETH chain.
Well, yeah. I mean, if that's the end all be all, like if you think it can't possibly go higher than 10% of the price on the ETH chain, um, due to liquidity, then yeah,
I think that would be like the point where bigger hex wallets connect themselves with this other chain and
yeah.
and dump there as well, you know.
Yeah, but those people can't dump forever. At some point, all the whales that wanted to dump on
No,
ETHW,
they can dump forever if they can dump forever, you know, if it's like a, let's say it's a really big whale, you know, there are people with their combined wallets who have like 75,000 T-shares or 30,000 T-shares, you know. I mean, how much hex are they creating on a daily basis? So yes, they can actually dump it forever if they want to. Because if they also choose to dump 10% or 20% of their stakes value on the ETH chain, then if they do that the same thing on the ETHW chain, they would definitely affect the price on both chains, you know.
of course,
And
because
if
of the
they
lower
restake
liquidity.
on both chains, fine.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
obviously, like
I
because
don't
of
know, because the price is also like only a tenth or a hundredth, something in between that, you know. So selling, let's say, 10 million hex on the East chain would be would not have this, would only have the same impact. No, usually, because like the 10 million hex on the other chain is not worth more than 300,000. It's only worth 30,000
Okay, so
or
that's an interesting
3,000.
hypothesis. So basically, as long as liquidity is only a fraction of what it is on the ETH main chain, then the price will tend to trend around, 3 to 10% of the actual price on the ETH main chain too of Hex.
Yep, possible, because maybe then
Yeah.
those really big wallets don't care, because they would need to, I don't know, make 1,000 swaps in order to like
Yeah.
wait until somebody comes in.
I mean, that's true. I mean, well, t-shirts were designed so that whales can't essentially perma-dump forever because it gets more expensive to buy back and then dump. But however, it's a lot easier to do
Yeah,
that for a
yeah. I
longer
mean,
period of time.
not the same amount, maybe over time, yeah, because they
Yeah,
get
yeah.
less accrued interest, they get less T-shares and all that stuff. But that still doesn't mean that they are like out of the game or something like that.
Yeah, I know. And because of the low liquidity environment on ETHW, if that continues to be low liquidity, considering the fact that a lot of ETH whales have a lot of hex, a lot of hex whales have a lot of hex already from the early days, they can maintain sell pressure for a lot longer period of time. Like if you sell 1 million hex today on the ETHW chain, I think it crashes the price by 4%. So imagine these people with 10 million
It's
hex
free.
that could, yeah, 3.5, 3.8. So 10 million hex crashes the price, like 30, 40% in one market
Yeah,
sell.
it should be exponential. It should be exponential, right?
Yeah,
It's
let
not
me
like
see.
just linear times 10.
I mean, I can just go.
I guess something like Kaiwa does not even allow you to do that or something like that. Also with Uniswap, you would need to activate like the export mode in order in
Yeah,
order to perform such transactions.
that's so funny. Calling it expert mode to give yourself more
Yeah,
slippage.
I mean, I I made one nice movement in one chart because it was just like $5 to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Just played
Well,
around a little bit.
I mean, yeah,
But then
just
actually, the front end told me that I will double the price, and in the end, it just like jumped the price by 15% on the chart. So
hmm,
I don't know.
maybe it doesn't take into consideration all the different routing through different pools. But to put things in
Yeah,
perspective,
that might be the case.
like if you try to dump 10 million hex on Ethereum right now, that'll push the price down about 1.1%. Let's see what that same thing would be on W.
Oh yeah, that's huge. That should be like 40 per or at least 30% on the other chain. But like with 10 million hex, you would need to make, I don't know, like 20 cells.
It's saying, yeah, 35%. I mean, yeah, you'd make about $20,000 USD. So, it's not really at the same time. If you're a whale and you're already rich, do you really want to push the price down that much just for 20 grand? Like, I wouldn't want to. I would just want to
Depends
wait and see.
it depends what your goals are. If you are in the need of money right now, do you really want to sell your hex on the East chain? And let's say like you need to sell some of your crypto portfolio. So what are you going to sell? Are you going to sell Hydra? Are you going to sell hex on the East chain? Or are you going to sell the forked coins, which maybe have now more value than in the future? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess I have less emotional connection to my hex on Ethereum W than I do to my hex on the main chain. To me, hex on the main
That's
chain
what
is.
I meant with that.
I know, I
That's
know,
what I meant with that. So
I
like,
know. Well, guys, we're just speculating here. Literally anything could happen, but it's
of
super
course,
interesting. That's a good theory about the liquidity being a kind of the liquidity ratio tending to equal the price ratio between the two as well. So, yeah, some people can see it lasting a while, some people can't. It's just it's anyone's guess right now, but basically if you're onboarding new people, I'm still going to tell them go through Ethereum. Obviously, why wouldn't you tell them that? Because you can't get the PulseChain copies if you're only on the Ethereum proof of work chain. I think the Ethereum proof of work chain is like a nice side game. It's a nice mini game during the bear market to keep us all entertained, maybe make us a little bit of money. But when you're talking about getting a new user in, it's hard enough to get into Ethereum already. So imagine trying to explain the whole ETHW scenario. PulseChain is going to be way better as a fork, in my opinion. The user experience on PulseChain will be better. We'll have PulseX. We'll have all these different protocols and stable coins right away. We'll have more faith in the founder and the developers. Personally, I don't really even know the founder or developers of ETHW. They could be great people, but they could just be mediocre. I have no idea. I mean, have you seen?
I absolutely agree. So I would also say that we shouldn't like try to allocate more funds to the East proof of work chain. And you know, I I lean more towards that some rich hexicans will just use other speculators as exit liquidity.
That's the fear, right? That's why I'm not trying to tell people to ape in, because I have no control over what other whales want to do. And that you could literally be selling into their bags, and they could have the last.
I mean, if the value is less than 1% of the main chain, and we are getting like more and more traction from other people like towards this chain, not necessarily just hexicans. Uh, that might be a price where you can look at it, but with 3% or like 5 or 10%. So like 10% of the value, in my point of view, is overpriced.
Interesting. Well, we'll see. I got my fingers crossed for price parity, but I'm not expecting it. Like, free money is free money. I'm going to be happy whatever happens. So people playing that game, just know that it's a risk. It's a coin flip. Is HEXW going to reach parity? Is it going to maintain 10% of the price? Is it going to continue to permanently dump from existing whales? Time will tell. I can't pretend to know, and I think a lot of
But
people
so Coffee, we talked a little bit about like new onboards. So I would like to ask this the question, what you think is like the best modern staking portfolio? Because a year ago I love this meme, like 2021, 2022 meme. 2021 you have like Hex or Stake Hex, and 2022 you have like Hex, Hedron, Icosa, Maxi,
I know.
Team, Deci, Lucky, Trio.
It's crazy out there. You got Hedron, Icosa, yeah, all this stuff. It's really, in the thumbnail of this video, I put a new era, because we are going into the second generation of Hex, and that's going to be Hex on PulseChain. Hex with all these additional add-ons and mini games options, derivative products. There's so many options of things you can do with your Hex now. My portfolio essentially just looks like a primary Hex staking ladder. That should be the first and foremost thing, in my opinion, because number one, it's just the system that works. It's got the most price potential in the future. You don't have to worry about timing the market. You can take your mind off of having to watch charts every day. You don't have to be a trader anymore. But number two, it also exposes you to more opportunities. Like, if you set up a Hex staking ladder now, or if you have some liquid Hex and some staked Hex, you get these opportunities like Maxi that pop up. That's if you had some liquid Hex, you could have entered a lot of these perpetual pools. Or if you have some liquid Hex that gets copied over to PulseChain, you might be able to make some swapping plays for Ethereum, or for PulseX or for PLS. Hedron, I haven't really bought a whole lot of Hedron. I'm just mostly minting it for free and holding it. So Hedron is a nice add-on, nice side effect of also just having staked Hex. If you just have staked Hex, you get to mint Hedron for free. So with a lot of these things, now that the perpetual contracts are over, well, I guess you could onboard people into these perpetual contracts. I haven't really set up much of an onboarding plan, but I will say that I think it's too complicated for a lot of people that are brand new to Hex, that just want to buy and stake Hex, to have to learn about all these perpetual contracts. It really just depends on the individual person. It depends on who you're onboarding. If you're onboarding someone technical that wants more exposure to these pooled stakes and they want to get into the Hedron game, you can explain all of that. But if you're just getting in, your parents or your cousin or whatever that doesn't really care, just telling them to stake Hex will open them
And
up to a
exactly,
lot of
no,
opportunities.
exactly with the cousin, with the parents, exactly like with the cousin, with the people who don't care. Exactly
Yeah.
there, I'm leaning to the perpetuals because those
Mm.
people don't care really about the system, and those people don't really understand the game theory of staking hex. So for especially for those people, I would rather put it in Dezi, for example. Yeah, right now in Dezi, because you know if they tell me like in 2 or 3 years, like looking at the hex price, seeing like, oh, nice, it did like well, like, can I have a little bit of my hex, you know? And then, you know, traditionally you need to tell them like, no, you would lose over 50% if you end stake now because we
Yeah.
locked it in for 10 years, like you saw 2 years ago. Yeah, but
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
little bit, you know? So,
Well, that's the thing. So are you assuming that you're managing all the hex on behalf of other people? Because if you're onboarding somebody to actually, properly own their own private keys and own their own MetaMask, if you're going to get somebody into the perpetuals, you then need to explain the Diamond Hands contract, and you need to say, look, you might be tempted to sell some of this DESI after 1 or 2 years, but you might be really mad at yourself if you wait 7 more years and then you dumped all your DESI at year 2, and now it's worth 100x, 1000x more. So there's also the time locking
yeah, I mean,
thing.
I'm not explaining it that in order to dump it completely, you know.
Yeah,
So
but that's
like
the thing is
take,
if you give someone the power to
but
do
have the
that,
option to take parts, you know. And
yeah,
yes, I have those people who control their own portfolio, but still, like before they make a move, they contact me, and I'm sure you have those people as well.
I'm getting tired of adding new people to that list. I've got too many of those. Yeah,
Yeah, that's why, you know, and
yeah.
it's not like to add people to this list, yeah, but just like those people are asking, you know, like what do you think Hex Lion is the best play? And yes, I have sometimes a little of a hard time explaining like what's the representation of a hex stake means. But in the end, you know, they are happy doing that. So all those I started like with Maxi, you know, in April, and all those people who had like a little bit of liquid hex, because I told them before, like, yeah, like maybe you want to play around a little bit when PulseChain starts or something like that, you know, don't stake like 100%, stake maybe 90%. So a lot of my onboards from last year had like a little bit of liquid hex, and
Mhm.
also my father, for example, his birthday is in April, so his stakes are like until April. And back in 2020, he was like, "No, not too long. Oh, yeah, I'm old, you know."
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we made only a staking ladder like 1 year, 2 years, 3 year, 4 year, 5 years.
Mhm.
And in April, when his stake came out, I was like, okay, that's like still like increased, you know, from 2020, even in the bear market, it's still more.
Yeah.
And what do you want to do? I don't need money right now. Like, just keep staking it, you know.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, okay, should I just stake it for 5 years to the end of his ladder, or what should I do? You know? And then there was like Maxi. Okay,
Mm.
let's do Maxi with those.
Interesting. Yeah, and it's really a case by case basis at this point. Although being
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
100%
and,
staked,
yeah.
being 100% staked these days is maybe not as good as it was 2 years ago. Maybe being 90% staked or 80% staked is a little bit better, because what if a new opportunity comes along on PulseChain with that you want to experiment with
I
some of
never
your hacks?
agreed to 100% staked. I never agreed to 100% stake. Even since 2020, I went like with the also personally, I went with the Pareto principle. You know,
Mm,
stake 80% and keep 20%, not necessarily liquid. You know, but you know, in a short
yeah.
term stake. And this gave me the opportunity to sacrifice for Pulse. That gave me the opportunity to sacrifice for Pulse X. It gave me the opportunity to go into Maxi, into the perpetuals right now.
Yep.
Yeah, now I don't have a liquid hex stake anymore. But you know,
Yeah.
it's not needed anymore, you know, because the you have those perpetuals, you have a lot of different options. You can HSI stake and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
I think the moral of the story is there's no one size fits all. It's one size fits one. And
Hmm.
what do you want?
Hmm.
How long is your time preference, right? If you're 80 years old, maybe you don't want to stay for 15 years. I totally understand that. And if you want to
Hmm.
sacrifice
Um,
or go ahead.
for I have like my first question to the new onboard is always like, what you want, do you want to become an active member of the crypto community and to learn about new things and so on, or do you want to just do like a side play, like put $1,000 in and then do nothing for 5 years, and from there I go? Because if he wants to be an active player, I would rather recommend going with HSI staking, because it gives you 100% flexibility. And then after a year, for example, you can mint your Hedron, you can stake your Hedron. After another year, you can another time mint your Hedron, increase your Hedron stake, collect the icosa you got from that, stake the icosa, and like uh, only with this one purchase still growing your crypto portfolio. But if you don't want to put any attention in the crypto market, 100% the perpetuals right now easy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 100% in the perpetuals is a good strategy, but you need to like the thing I like about hex staking is that it saves me from myself and my weak paper hands. So it's like insured diamond hands, basically.
Okay, I mean, as I said, like from the get-go, I had like 20% of my hex portfolio, sometimes liquid,
Yeah.
sometimes not, short-term staking, and it only did me good,
Yeah.
Uh,
I feel like
but
I
yeah, in
personally,
2020, I mean, I need to confess that in 2020, I sold a couple of million hex to purchase something worth $11,000, and those hex I needed for it would be would be wow, would be like $150,000 right now.
hmm, yeah,
So yeah,
pretty
it was
good.
like stupid me thinking about diversification.
Yeah, yeah. Diversification in crypto, somewhat of a myth, but as long as you're in an ecosystem that everything is self-referential, I think you'll be okay. So
Mhm.
things like Maxi and Hedron and all that, it all references back to hacks, just like PLS and PulseX. They're all playing together with each other. So it's not so much
Mhm.
diversification as it is just buying into a single vertical ecosystem. But if you're going and buying, this blockchain and that blockchain, it's like they all kind of go up and down together. And it's more about the ones that survive and more about the ones that pump the hardest in the bull markets.
Yeah, on the last thing, I agree. It's more about to find the things who can pump the hardest.
Yeah. Well, and obviously you have to survive, right? Like that's just a given. Otherwise,
And like when it comes to this gamble, I would not name a hex on the W chain, If you say, okay, what could pump even harder than hex in the next bull market, then I would more go maybe with Hero. Yeah, because
really.
it definitely has like price wise, like to reach this one B share price,
Yeah.
definitely more upside potential still, so.
I mean, I agree in terms of the unit bias, right? Like there's a lot of zeros to knock off of that price there. If Hedron went to 1 penny, that would make a lot of people very, very rich. So that'd be good.
Yeah.
I like Hedron. I've always liked it. Well, actually, at first I was kind of neutral about it, but after icosa launched, now I really like it. So there's Hedron,
I
there's
mean,
Maxi.
I like the front end and the HSI staking option more than the coins itself.
Mm,
But yes, it created a nice new ecosystem, and people are going to speculate on the speculative market,
mhm.
and it definitely increases the speculative stickiness with the auction system and the borrowing system, and now icosa as well, and so on.
Yeah, and we can't forget about PLS. I feel like it just keeps getting delayed, so we forget about it. But PLS has more potential than almost any other coin, and it might be the number one coin of the next bull market. PLS itself.
Or PLSX.
I'm leaning towards PLS. I
Da,
think.
da, 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 da. I'm leaning towards PLSX, and I give you a reasoning why. I
Okay.
think that because people sacrificed way more for Pulse X than they did for Pulse, is the reason that Pulse X reaches a way lower price on the lower end than Pulse, and doing so, it can squeeze more access in the
Okay.
next bull
Okay.
market.
So if you're measuring from the bottom to the top, you're saying PulseX is going to have a giant wick down, and then it's going to like net
Yeah, I mean, if
more
it's like a giant wick down, or if it's just like a process
big
of a
sell
few
off.
weeks, like
Yeah, yeah.
because people think like because of not too much volume creation in the first few weeks, like, oh no, this buy and burn is like just like a marketing gag or something like that,
Yeah.
and yeah, all those kinds of movements.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, as long as you've got your hands on both or all three, I should say, Hex, PLS, PulseChain, you can't go wrong. You don't have to pick a winner. And then,
No,
with
no.
the liquidity bonding on Hex and Hedron, if Hedron pumps, guess what? Hex pumps too. Even if nobody touches Hex at all, if people only buy Hedron, that actually makes the price of Hex go up. That's the really cool thing a lot
Yep.
of people don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we saw that actually with iCosa launching, right? Because with the iCosa launching, with the iCosa launching, Hedron made a new all-time high, and
Mhm.
doing so, I mean, of course, it went up more
Yeah.
than Hex in the process, percentage-wise, but it also uh, kept increasing the Hex price.
Yeah, and one more cool thing about iCosa is that it's always tied to the hex price, and it will slightly increase in value permanently over time in relation to hex. Not in relation to US
Mhm.
dollars, but because the amount of hex required to mint iCosa is divided by the t-shirt rate, and the t-shirt rate's going up, iCosa will always go up relative to hex in hex terms. So, they will play off of each other, but I mean, ever so slightly, iCosa will get more and more expensive over time. You
You
know what I
think
mean?
so?
Well,
Yeah,
there's
but you think
arbitrage,
so?
right? People are arbitraging. People are always going to be able to
Yeah,
arbitrage.
and there is also like 10% bonus if you exchange a HSI stake.
Yeah, the 10% bonus is factored in because most of the time people are going to make max length stake if it costs them, nothing to do so.
Yeah, but that as it is priced in, I'm not sure about that. That's why I named like iCosta Hex for a really stable liquidity pair, because I
It will be. No, it's
yeah
a very stable liquidity
made
pair, but I'm
really
saying
really slowly.
very slowly. Yeah. I
Yeah,
shouldn't mislead people and say it's going to skyrocket compared to Hex, but because the t-shirt rate ticks up slowly every single day, little by little, the iCosa price is going to inch slightly higher versus Hex over time, which is cool. So yeah, it's a win-win, guys. This bull market, as long as you're
well,
in here.
and a second, no, sorry to interrupt, because I have a second reason why I don't think so. And the second reason why I don't think so is people earning iCosa staking Hebron or iCosa. So we have like inflation creation in the market as well. And that's why I don't think that that one iCosa is like double the price of one hex in 3 years or 5 years. But when it comes to Daisy, I know that Daisy in the end will have a price of 3 to 4 hex in the end.
Hmm. Yeah, but because people are primarily staking iCosa and because it starts at zero supply, I think the increase in supply, the sell pressure from the increase in supply, considering everyone's staked, it won't be enough because it'll be so staggered. I don't think that'll be enough to offset the hex iCosa ratio too much. And if it does, people will just arbitrage it back to the arbitrage point. Maybe. Or maybe you're right. I have no
That's
idea.
true. Yeah. Yeah.
But hey, let's talk about December 2nd. December 2nd, guys.
Yes, let's talk about December 2nd.
People in the chat might not know. December 2nd, 2019 was Hex's official birthday. And so every year we're going to have a party. And this year it's your job.
Yes, that's true. Also last year, I mean, last year it was like Richard and our job. So Richard celebrated in London, and we were celebrating in New York.
Yep.
Mehdi did like a live stream over the whole day,
Mhm.
catching like all the different continents, what's going on. And this year we are going to be on the West Coast in San Diego, in the south of California, in the Hard Rock Hotel there, and we meet at the 1st of December, the day before. We will have a, a rooftop bar get together in the Hard Rock Hard Rock Hotel. Yeah. Then on the next day, on the actual Hex birthday, on the 2nd, we meet at the harbor at midday at noon, and then we go on a 40 people yacht for 4 hours. Then in the afternoon, everybody can feed himself and prepare for the Hex birthday party, which is in one of the big nightclubs in San Diego, where we have like the whole VIP section, where we have the logos on their big screens, Hex logo and so on, bottle service for the yeah, VIP package purchase included. And then on the next day, on the 3rd, also in the Hard Rock Hotel, we will have a pool party there, like a relaxed pool party. And the VIP package goes till the 4th. So it's like the night to the 2nd, to the 3rd, and to the 4th. It's 3 nights. And then on the 4th, everybody can go home again.
Yeah, it sounds like a blast, man. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy my
Yeah.
ticket after this.
I hope you come, bro.
I think I will.
Awesome.
I think I will. I don't have any
Awesome. I
plans.
bought my ticket yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. Let's party in San Diego. I don't think I've ever been to San Diego, to be honest. I've been to LA a whole bunch of times. Yacht party sounds great.
Yeah, I've been there like for a few days during the tour. So we started in Las Vegas and then we went to San Diego. But I only got to see like a little bit of San Diego, like the Little Italy part.
Hmm.
And then a little outside of San Diego, like the wine region and like Ramona. No, not wine region, but like a little, yeah, more outside of the city.
Yeah, yeah. Nice, man. Well, thank you for putting all that together. I think tickets are what, like $2,000
You're
for
welcome.
all inclusive everything, right?
$2,000 for all inclusive everything, which includes the 3 hotel nights, which includes the rooftop bar, the nightclub, the yacht, and the pool party. And it also includes valet parking or airport transportation.
Beautiful.
So like if you come with your car, just park there, and if you come with your plane. And if you have any questions, so to look it up, it's ksb.tv/meetups, where you can find everything. Also, like when you're from the area, you say, no, I just want to come like to the nightclub, you can just get individual tickets for that as well. And if you have any further questions, then use the contact form on our internet page, or on Telegram. It would be at Let's Talk About Hex, to talk with the KSB CEO, with Kaylin. She is like the best Hexicon organizer and doing all this hard work. I'm just chilling it, you know.
I mean, it's great. I think if I tried to do all that stuff on my own, I would end up spending a lot more than $2,000. So whatever you guys are doing, it seems to be good budgeting, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm excited for that. Also, what else? There's some Hex cruise, right?
Yeah, there is something else. There is the Hex Cruise next year. And when it comes to the Hexicon community, what I realized throughout the tour is that the Hexicans, yes, of course, they do like educational content, but they don't like only educational content. And I mean, what we did with our 2 hours of workshop was fine, you know, not too much. And what the people also liked a lot was like the hour before the workshop or the hour after the workshop, or to join us for the dinner after the workshop, and so such things. So what I realized, it's that when it comes to Hexicon events, we might not only focus on education and like conference style. So we should focus on more like a meetup style, more like a community building uh, event.
I love that.
And that's how Kaylin came up with the idea to make the Hex Cruise. And I love the idea, because first of all, we don't need to find sponsors for that. We don't need to raise money for that. It's affordable. You can bring your no coiner mom. You can bring your kids. Nobody needs to take care like, where do I take my breakfast or my lunch or my dinner today. because you are on the boat. Every time when you go like around the corner, you will see somebody wearing a hex merch, or will see a Hexicon. Already had this experience now in Vegas, and not too much Hexicans came there, but even there in the hotel, you lots of times you saw another Hexicon. We can use the rest of the people on the boat to onboard. They can't run away for 4 days, so that's great.
Yeah.
And the cruise itself, it's also a nice route. It goes from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas and back. It's 4 nights in total, and yeah. And you have the whole range, so you can go like with those inside cabins without a window, like the cheapest one, or you can have the Grand Suite, where you have like 300 square feet or something, and 2 bedrooms.
That sounds awesome. And I totally agree with the mindset of just doing more informal meetups is going to be so great. Not only is it more fun, but it gives more FOMO to other people. Like once, we'll take some cool pictures, we'll have a lot of fun, we'll party on a yacht. Yeah, we'll educate people about Hex, but also we'll just show the world that we're all here, we're all real people, human beings, and we're just a giant community that anybody can join. So if you want to actually have fun while you're waiting around for crypto to pump, like there's no better place to be. I think that in terms of marketing, the value that you get from just showing off all the crazy fun stuff that we do is worth just as much, if not more, than the actual experience itself. Like it's a great marketing tool as a side effect of just hanging out with your friends, basically.
Yeah, and I have like something else. I sent you the link in the private chat, and I think like every Hexagon will like that as well. It's just a link to a Google Forms, because the latest idea from the KSBTBT is Hexi Awards, and it would be great if you could. Can you screen share that?
And I can. This is funny. So hold on. Let me switch my accounts here. There we go.
Yeah, so what we did, or what, yeah, basically Kaylin did again, was thinking about different categories, and now all the Hexicans, the whole Hexican community, can go to this link, to this Google form, and then you can name a Hexican what you think would be the best Hexagon to win this specific category. And can you zoom in a little bit that the people can if you can see it a little bit bigger?
Let's see. Yeah, 1 second. Most consistent Hex content, most
Yeah.
informative, most
Yes.
entertaining. I don't know who I'd put for most entertaining. Nagabo might be up there. Favorite Hexagon
That's
newcomer,
a good one.
best Hex onboarder. I think
Hey,
Abit.
favorite Hexagon. Let's go up again, and let's like just name some names what came to in mind to us, huh? That's definitely a fun stuff to do right now.
Most consistent.
Most consistent
That's
Hexagon. I would say you, Huddle Dog, or Hexologist.
Hexologist, hands down. I'll take most informative though. I'll do that one.
Yeah, I guess you will have a whole hard time like versus Huddle Dog there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, most consistent. I mean, the dude made 365 days in a row of streams. So like, it doesn't get any more consistent than that. You got to give that one to Hexo.
That's true,
Most,
yeah. So most entertaining Hex content.
dude.
Nagapo, you say it?
Uh,
Jimred Crypto, maybe?
I once you're a content creator, you don't have time to watch as much. So who's most
That's true, yeah.
entertaining?
And I mean, like the category before, like the most consistent Hex content, we definitely also need to name Medi there, because Medi is also like doing his streams on a
Yeah,
weekly basis since long time.
yeah. Shout out to Maddie. Most
Yeah,
entertaining. We might have to just give that one to Richard. Who's more entertaining than Richard Hart? I don't know of
that's
anybody.
true. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Favorite.
Favorite Hexican newcomer, Crypto
Mm,
Jimred or Corey?
or what? That's your pick. Okay. Look, I like all of them. I can't. See, if I pick one right now, I'm gonna offend all the other ones. So I don't want to offend anybody.
You
But
need to pick. You need to pick. That's the rule of the stream right now.
all right, everybody, you're all great. You're all special in your own way. I'm gonna go with. I really like RH Max, and because I've learned a lot
Yeah,
from him. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Okay, let's go on.
best hex onboarder.
Best hex onboarder. Abit.
Yeah, that one's self-proclaimed, but okay. Sure, a bit.
Or what would you say? You are? I mean, you should be nominated in this category, right? Because
I'm
I mean,
fair.
you made a crypto course. You have like
Yeah,
all these educational videos, the playlists on your channel, and so on.
there's no way to tell how many people I've onboarded, but I do get a lot of messages. Whereas a bit, I know he's out there in real life, so he's got real people that he can point to. Um, we all do a great job. I don't know who's the best single onboarder. You could technically give Richard all of these, right? If you wanted to.
Mhm.
But if we're talking about the community, man, KSB TV, what you guys are doing, the Million Pulse Tour. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Maybe Staker app. You could say Steph from Staker app.
Yeah,
Staker app's got
that's
tons of
true.
users.
That's true.
Best Hex Alpha.
Best hex alpha, John Wick.
John Wick's a smart dude. Although at this point, it's like I don't know.
There
what
are
the-
more. I know. I just like.
I'm blanking on the names, yo.
So who
Funniest
has the
streamer.
best hex alpha for you? Who is educating crypto coffee on hex?
Nobody. I'm educating myself.
Yeah,
at
yeah.
this
Then you
point.
need to write your own name there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I
That
guess
you have
so.
the best hex alpha.
At the risk of
Yeah,
sounding like a cocky asshole, myself.
yeah. Sure.
Funniest
No
streamer.
private talkings with no private talkings with John Wick or Silva or something like that.
To be honest, I don't talk to those guys very often. I'll stream with them every once in a
Me
while, but
neither.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
A lot
true.
of people probably
Same
think
here.
that we all like talk every day, but there's a lot of us out there. It's pretty hard to talk to all these guys every single day. You know what I mean?
It's the funniest streamer in hex. That would be Richard again, right?
Richard or Hexo. One of the two.
Yeah.
Best articulated
hex
game
game
theory.
theory.
That's a very specific award.
Mhm.
I guess it depends,
Taylor Kennedy
Oh, hey,
with
there
his
you go.
articles, with his Medium articles.
There you go. Taylor Kennedy for sure. Matty Allen talks a lot about game theory.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe he's also like a good nominate for that category.
Most
And
engaging on Twitter. I like
Silver the
this guy.
Antidote and Silver, right?
Silver, yeah, sure. I don't like follow these people all like that closely to say.
Yeah. But I mean, when it comes like to the game theory talks, she's making those kind of videos. Most
That's true.
most engaging Hexican on Twitter. I have no idea. I'm not on Twitter.
Good for you. Your mental health is probably great. Most engaging
Yeah,
Hexican
thank
on
you.
Twitter. Who would that be? I see some people out here like every day. You got like Johnny Chaos, Hex McKenzie. You could probably prove this.
Yeah.
Like you could probably literally go to lunarcrush.com and see. Let's see. I'm gonna search for Hex on Lunar Crush and see who really is the best Twitter person. Hex Whalebot. That's number one. Number one influencer is Hex
Okay, the
Whalebot.
bot.
Yeah. Oh, Corey Costa's up there too. Shout out to Corey Costa.
Nice. Yeah.
And then Johnny Chaos
Corey
is
is doing
number
a
5.
great job.
And then Hexlina
Yeah.
Pulse a lot is number 3. That all makes
Mhm.
sense. That all makes sense to me.
Mhm.
You
Cool.
can't deny the data. You know what I mean? Hexican life of the party. I feel like Kareem's always there. He's always partying.
Yeah, I also had Kareem in mind right now.
Yeah, man.
I mean, Crypto Kool-Aid also likes to party.
Yep. Shout out Kool-Aid.
Yeah, shout out Kool-Aid. But yeah, I would say I would also nominate Kareem for that. Yeah, he joined the 555 tour for 5555 tour for a while. So yes, Mexican life of a party that fits him.
Love it. The
So best
best
Hexican
YouTube
YouTube
channel.
channel. Let's skip that because we all know that's ours. No.
There's way too many, but yeah, that's gonna be a tough one. If we're
That's
going
like
by
big
subscriber
competition
count,
going on there.
I'll pat my own back
Yeah,
again. Top subscriber count.
yeah, yeah. You should
If anybody
exactly.
wants
You
to
should
take that
like
title from
post
me,
the link in the chat as well. People can start with their votes with the votes with their votes right after
yeah,
the
yeah,
stream.
yeah, guys. If you want to, I'm gonna post this link in the channel and in the chat. Copy link address. Here you go, guys. Go vote for your favorite people. Best Hexagon TikTok. I wish I was
Yes.
on TikTok.
Yeah, El Hexidente, no, is like one of the, or
That's
it's
true.
like a big TikTok.
Oh, that one. So yeah, that either goes to El Hexadente or to superhex.win. Superhex.win is
Yeah, yeah,
TikTok king.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
that's
gonna be
true.
a toss up. Hottest Hexagon. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well,
So who?
you
Who?
first.
Huh? I have no idea how this Mexican.
I'm gonna go with gold
Because
key on that one.
there are some like really good looking Hexicans who aren't like necessarily streamers, you know.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, you got to give the pretty boys gold key and dip catcher. Give it to them.
Yeah. And in order to don't uh decrease our viewer count, we skip the next section. So we don't name any names in the hottest Hexagon woman.
Thank you very much. You saved me on that one. All right,
Yeah.
Hexagon Designer of the Year, graphic, fashion, or creative art designer. Well, basically,
Um,
whoever put together the fashion show is clearly the designer of the year.
yeah, that was Susanne's art. So Susanne
Yeah,
from Germany.
yeah.
Uh, she made like all the nice hex gear and hex merch with those crystals, like this
Mm,
one here.
let's take a look. Nice, nice.
So yes,
Well, I mean, we also can't
Mexican
discount
artist of the year.
everybody in the Hex
Okay,
Design
yeah,
Telegram channel.
yeah, that's true.
Performance and arts. Wow. Corey Investor, Black Crypto, uh, Freddie Quotes. That's going to be one of them three.
Yep, those are like I would also name those three like up front.
Yeah, yeah. Developer of the
Mexican
year.
developer of the year. That's like a
Mm,
battle between Alex and
Tento.
Maximus
Yeah,
and
Dip Catcher.
Dipcatcher. Yeah.
It might be Alex just for the fact of making a brand new coin. Well, I mean, they both killed it.
And it also might be yeah, but it's like or it might be Dipcatcher because it's like Mexican developer of the year. And not like Hedron
Yeah.
developer of the
I
year.
mean, Dip Catcher basically locked up 1 billion hex in smart contracts.
Yeah.
So that's pretty
Mhm.
outrageous.
Yeah.
Whereas
And
Alex,
Alex on the other hand, like gave the every Hexagon free coin. So it's a
yeah,
really hard decision. Yeah.
yeah, that's going to be a tough one. Uh, I'll think about it. Community Leader of the Year, 2022. Again, that's a tough one, right? Who corrals the most people? Who unites everybody?
Let's just name Richard again.
Okay, Richard, Hexagon of the Year female, Hexagon of the Year male. Wow, this is like
Who is
prom king and
Hexagon of
prom
the year
queen.
female?
What the hell is this?
Who is Hexagon of the year female? I would say Susanne, like with her art as well.
Okay,
To nominate as a Hexagon of the year. Sammy Cheeker as well, because like she is online every day, you know, shilling hex. She flew in from Australia to Las Vegas.
true, true.
Um who else do we have? Do we got like some Hexican females with hex hair and pulse hair in Vegas as well?
Yeah, I mean,
Who is your male Hexican of the year?
Who is my main one?
Your
Me,
male Hexi NFT.
me, myself.
Me. Who do you love the most? Me.
Me, of course, me, of course. Hey, we got a super sticker in the chat. Thank you for the Australian $20. Matt in Bali. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you. Hey, vote for me. Just kidding. Thank you.
Yeah, don't forget to mention it like in every video and stream you do in the next
Yeah,
couple
yeah.
of weeks, in order to get some awards.
Oh, shout out to Randy, Dollar Cost Crypto, and Jesse as leaders as well. That's a good call. I totally
Mhm.
forgot.
Yeah, shout out to Randy. Randy is always doing a good job there, and DCC as well. I
We
I
need to give a shout out
talked
to
to him
X-Ray.
in
X-Ray needs to
Vegas.
win. She needs to win for
Ah,
the
yeah,
audio
yeah.
book of Sci-Fi.
Of Cybers, yeah, that's
Yep.
true.
Where's the best audiobook category?
Thanks. I will write it down as a suggestion. Now let's focus for this year. But that those should become the yearly Hexi Awards,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the our goal is like now you can vote and nominate whatever you want to. Now the goal is to collect as much votes and to just like encourage the Hexicans a little bit. It's not only about price movements; it's also like about some fun stuff from time to time. And the ceremony of the award ceremony will be on the Hex Cruise.
Cool. This is like prom king and prom queen. I better get a little hat, a little Burger King crown if I win.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is also like to make NFTs, to make like award NFTs.
Yeah.
So those should be given out as well.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I was not expecting that. So thanks for making me choose everybody. No, I'm
Yeah,
just kidding,
okay.
guys. I love all
All
of you.
right.
You're all special.
So
Keep it
you
you.
touched a little bit on Maxi and Dipcatcher and his team. Okay, Matt, where did you go? I didn't realize that he's gone right now. Okay, guys, I'm just waiting here for Matt. So what we had was Maximus, like Crypto Coffee. Are you back, or is it
Hey,
my
my bad.
connection?
I just cut out.
Okay,
I'm back.
press the wrong button.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk a little bit more about Maxi and the perpetuals. You already told us like more than 1 billion this year got locked up in them, and I'm pretty sure that there is a lot more hacks to lock up in the coming years. So I'm pretty sure that, for example, something like Base will reach the 150 million next year, and Trio and Lucky as well when they come again. And what I would like to see would be a yearly maxi stake. Of course, we need to come up with 15 different names, so like 14 more.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, I would really like to see a pooled hex stake for 5,555 days each and every year that we have and then in 15 years we are good.
I mean, that's hey, Dip Catcher, if you're out there, I see him in the chat here. If you want to go ahead and make a yearly 15-year stake, be my guest, bro. But I don't know. That seems like a lot. That just seems like a lot to keep track of. What did you call it? Like Maxi
I
one,
don't
Maxi
think
two?
so because it's like it would be a representation of everlasting staking ladder. Because what did we do in the beginning? What we did was, like, for example, making 15 stakes, one for 1 year, one for 2 year, one for 3 year, and so on, and the
Mhm.
last one for 15 years. And what we do now is like restaking always for 15 years,
Mhm.
and that would be like the mirror of that strategy with Maximus style perpetual contracts. It was complicated
Sure. I guess you can call it
with
like
those things.
Maxi. You can call it like Maxi 16 or Max 17, Max 18, and just keep it rolling forever. Why not?
yeah, maybe, yeah, whatever. Like the naming shouldn't be like the biggest issue here, you know.
Yeah.
And then you can also make them rolling, so you would only need to launch now for the next 15 years, or next 14 years. But then yes, for more 15 years, take the
Dibcatcher says he's not in such a rush for 15-year stakes. The whales who need exit liquidity to maintain luxury lifestyle want everyone else but them to max length stake and not compete as sellers. So he's playing more on a 15-year immediate time frame. That's interesting. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I've got my 15 years.
Fun.
I don't know. By then, who knows what the price of Hex could
Also
be?
fun.
But if the users really
That's
want
true.
it, then we will. Interesting. Yeah. Well, that's another good point too. It's like also the more Hex you lock up for 15 years, the lower the APY goes, right? So maybe we should leave a little bit more attractive APY in order to onboard people as well. Like if you start launching so much Hex into the future, you're gonna extend the average weighted stake length, and by extending the average weighted stake length, you'll make it harder and harder to
Yeah,
get those
yeah.
competitive.
All true what you say.
Oh,
All
I know
true
you
what you say.
understand.
But
I'm
you
just trying
know,
to explain to people watching.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, yeah.
lowering our APY. Yeah, see, I don't know about that, right? But we'll see. I mean, anybody can make one of these
Yeah, I
contracts.
mean, I'm curious to see like in a few hours from now, how much impact it has had, because like yesterday, in total over 800, no, in total over 700 million hex got actively staked. Nearly 600 of those in the Daisy contract. So like this, maximum bigger and longer pays better. So I'm curious to see what impact it has today.
Yeah, we'll see. But you know what? We've been on stream for an hour and 15 minutes, so I think I'm going to start to wrap things up. Are there any final thoughts that you have? Okay, X line.
No, I guess that's it. You know, I would love to see a lot of Hexicans in the beginning of December in San Diego, and of course also in Miami and Fort Lauderdale next year in the end of April. Just to tell it, like hexcruise.com would be the official link for details about the Hex Cruise, and the date is the 24th till the 28th of April. And as lots of people were asking for that, the cruise line already eliminated the vaccine requirement. So that's not the case anymore.
All right. Cool, guys. Go sign up for Hex Cruise party and Hex birthday party, and also vote for your little prom king and prom queen, boys and girls.
Yes, that as well. So everybody should do that. You know, it just takes a little bit of time. It's a fun activity,
Yeah.
and yes, just move away from the charts for a little time.
All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. I will talk to you on the next one. Like and subscribe if you want, or don't. It's your call. Peace out.